recorded as Madhuri.
Yeah. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. So today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Jivan Gaurahari Prabhu to enlighten us on Sri Caitanya Charitamrta. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. So thank you so much Prabhuji for giving a valuable association and time. So now I would like to hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to welcome all the assembled devotees, wonderful Vaishnavis, for having assembled here to hear and speak about the wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and his associates in this holy month of Purushottam. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Nitinamine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kipa Pradayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Kamatare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatate Sadarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we will be seeing from Sri Caitanya Charitamrta Adi Leela chapter 4 from verse 1 to verse 5. Is it possible to share it in the screen?
Yes, Prabhu, I will be doing it in a second.
Yeah. So in this holy month of Purushottam, it is very, very auspicious that whatever activities we do, it is highly beneficial for our spiritual life. Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrtam, and Lochan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Mangala, they are mentioning repeatedly whenever we chant and utter the holy names of Lord Krishna, and that too in this age of Kali, by remembering and chanting the associates of Lord Chaitanya, then one gets immediately disentangled from material bondage, and apart from that, they also attain love for Krishna. So it's Adi Leela chapter 4. Adi Leela chapter 4.
Oh, Prabhu, this Antya Leela, Prabhu.
Okay.
Antya.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Text 1. When Sanatana Goswami returned from Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu affectionately saved him from his determination to commit suicide. Then after testing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu purified his body. Text 2. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The text 3 goes, when Srila Rupa Goswami returned from Jagannath Puri to Bengal, Sanatana Goswami went from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The text 4. Sanatana Goswami walked alone on the path through the Jarikanda forest in central India. Sometimes he fasted and sometimes he would eat. The text 5. Because of bad weather in the Jarikanda forest and because of fasting, Sanatana Goswami contracted a disease that made his body itch. Thus he was afflicted with itching sores from which fluid oozed. Okay, we will go with text 6 as well. In disappointment, Sanatana Goswami considered I am of a low caste and my body is useless for devotional service. Okay. So, the glory of the Antya Leela is that we get a wonderful chance to hear about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. At Vipralamba Kshetra Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya, he appeared in this world externally for propagating the holy name and internally for nourishing the mellow devotion between Radha and Krishna. And this was exhibited at Jagannath Puri. For Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Jagannath Puri is very, very special. Why? Lord Chaitanya stayed in Jagannath Puri for 18 years. For how many years? 18 years. Which place? Gambira, the home of Kasi Mishra. And Lord Chaitanya, he illustrated how the separating mood from Lord Krishna is the highest. The associates of Lord Chaitanya, especially the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were always immersed in thought of serving Radha Krishna, and at the same time, the same Radha Krishna manifested before them as Lord Chaitanya. These wonderful personalities, they got different instructions from Lord Chaitanya. The Sambandha Acharya, Sanatana Goswami, the Abhideya Acharya, Rupa Goswami, they were first introduced to Lord Chaitanya by Lord Nityananda at Ramakeli. That was the first meeting point. Raghunatha Dasa Goswami met Lord Chaitanya at Shantipur after he took sannyas at Katwa, and on the way to Jagannath Puri in the year 1510, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami took permission from his father, Govardhana Majumdar, and came to Shantipur to meet Lord Chaitanya and the wonderful associates. So all these 3 Acharyas, Sambandha Acharya, Sanatana Goswami, Abhideya Acharya, Rupa Goswami, and the Prayojana Acharya, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, in one way we can say that all 3 were introduced by Lord Chaitanya through Lord Nityananda. Unless we know what is our relationship with Krishna, then it is very difficult to firmly establish in devotional service. So this Sambandha Jnana, the relationship is required, because if anyone is a stranger, we can show our respect, but to love him, there should be some relationship. So this relationship between us and Krishna, Sanatana Goswami is explaining. Jivera Swarupahai Krishnara Nityadas. And after knowing the relationship, Rupa Goswami, he is outlining the process, what we have to do, the devotional process. And through that, Rupa Goswami is clearly indicating to us, so what is the process we have to adopt, the devotional path. And Raghunatha Dasa Goswami as Prayojana Acharya, after knowing our relationship with Krishna, and also after executing the process of devotional service, the aim is to attain pure love for Krishna, serve him, and to go back home, back to Godhead. So we can clearly understand Lord Nityananda's mercy is very essential to attain the grace of Lord Chaitanya. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they were humility personified, like Haridas Thakur. Rupa Goswami somehow, he was able to come out of the clutches of Nawab Hussain Shah. And then the first meeting that happened between Lord Chaitanya and Rupa Goswami was at Ramakeli. And then he arrived at Prayag, where Lord Chaitanya gave him instruction for 10 days at Dasaswamedha Ghat. There is a Veni Madhavar temple and Dasaswamedha Ghat, Prayag, where the 3 holy rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati merge. So for continuously 10 days, he got instruction from Lord Chaitanya about the Abhideya Tattva. And at Varanasi, Lord Chaitanya instructed Sanatana Goswami for 2 months, because all the knowledge that we get, 84 lakh species of life, and then how Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhakyavan Jiva Bhakyavan Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. So many living entities wander in this universe, but one who is fortunate get the association of Guru and Krishna. So the living entity who comes under the orbit of a pure devotee and the Lord, he is considered to be the most fortunate. And all these tattvas that was explained by Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami, and we find in many of the purports of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, how he has wonderfully summarized this philosophy that Lord Chaitanya imparted to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami, he was put on jail because these two persons were wonderful ministers, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Still, if we go to Ramakeli, you can still see the jail where Sanatana Goswami was jailed. And these two wonderful ministers, they were not only diplomatic, but highly intellectual. And that's why Nawab Hussain Shah was always engaged in territorial expansion plan. And these two wonderful personalities, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were executing the official work on behalf of Nawab Hussain Shah. So Nawab Hussain Shah, he didn't want to lose them. But still, the parents of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they gave a clear indication, rather they can go in search for Krishna and then serve pure devotees instead of serving this Muslim king. So Sanatana Goswami, we know that how he tricked the jailkeeper and how he bribed the jailkeeper with gold coins. And then he came with an assistant. He was on the route. He stayed in a accommodation place in a forest where he was nicely received, welcomed, and seeing over hospitality, because Sanatana Goswami, he already worked as a diplomat under Nawab Hussain Shah, so he could easily understand where Sanatana Goswami and his assistant, they were staying. The lodge owner, he was welcoming them nicely, seeing the overall arrangements, and that made a suspicion to Sanatana Goswami, and he asked his assistant, "Are you carrying any gold coins?" Yes, he told. Then Sanatana Goswami told, "Oh, that I can understand." Then how much gold coin you have? So he told he was having 7 gold coins. Then Sanatana Goswami took those gold coins and he handed over to the lodge owner. The lodge owner immediately refused, and he immediately revealed his mind, saying that actually, with the help of an astrologer, I was able to understand that you are keeping some gold coin, and I actually conspired to kill both of you and to take the gold coin. But now I am completely embarrassed. I don't need the gold coin anymore. But Sanatana Goswami told, if you are not killing me, someone is going to kill me. So better you take. Only the one favor, what I request from you is that you just show me the way, how I have to reach the path of Vrindavan. And actually, Sanatana Goswami made his mind to reach Kasi, Varanasi, because that was the meeting place between Lord Chaitanya and Sanatana Goswami. So we can understand, Prabhupada also says that in those olden days, they used to hire astrologers, and with astrologers, they could even see. The same thing, it happened when Srinivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Prabhu were carrying the books of the Goswamis, and when they halted at Vana Vishnupur, Bir Hambir, he hired an astrologer and he told that they are carrying a Christ jewel of devotion. I mean, he told not devotion, but Christ jewel of treasure. But actually, that is the highest Christ jewel is the Christ jewel of devotion. But it was not rightly anticipated by the astrologer, but somehow they could understand it. And Prabhupada used to say that even during my time, there was one disease which was suffered by a person. The doctor diagnosed, but he couldn't diagnose the disease. And they gave many treatment to the stomach. But an astrologer, he could easily predict the disease is in the throat. And immediately it was rectified. So I know one of our devotees, father, he is in the higher official position of police. So he used to analyze the horoscope of the criminals, and whatever criminal activities he had done before also, he used to calculate. So like that, anyhow, we can understand how this material property, it is actually an impediment. And that's why Caitanya Mahaprabhu stresses that happiness is only in renunciation. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga Sikshartam Yeka Purusha Puranaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripambudim Yas Tam Aham Prapadye. So we can understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually taught us the spirit of renunciation. The spirit of renunciation is so wonderful that if we adopt this path, we can actually have taste in the devotional process. We are practicing devotion, but unless we have the taste, then it doesn't give us the hankering to do more devotional service. No one sleeps while eating ice cream, but sometimes devotee says that while we take the chanting bag, sleeping comes. Why? So it means the taste is not there. And to attain the taste, definitely we should pursue the path of renunciation, and we should be firmly convinced that only Krishna can make me happy. So it was a long journey for Sanatana Goswami, and then he came to the Varanasi, and he was instructed continuously by Lord Chaitanya for 2 months. Then Lord Chaitanya instructed Sanatana Goswami, you better go to Vrindavan and you have to excavate the holy places. Along with instruction comes empowerment. Whenever a spiritual master gives instruction, we have to understand that along with that instruction, empowerment comes. In Prabhupada Lilamrita, we can understand Prabhupada when he instructed Shyam Sundar Prabhu to go and then start a center at London. He knew nothing about London, but simply abiding by the laws of the spiritual master, went to the United Kingdom. And then later we can see how George Harrison gave a wonderful piece of this farm community land, the great Bhakti Vedanta manor. So along with construction, instruction comes empowerment. So Prabhupada used to say that whenever we get the divine instruction from the spiritual master, we have to execute it, or at least we have to meditate on it. And Prabhupada said that I got the instruction from my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the year 1922. And he officially started the ISKCON movement at 1966, but he was meditating in between for 44 years. So whatever instruction, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, whatever instruction comes from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master, that has to be accepted as the life and soul. So Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they were instructed to excavate the lost hidden places at Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan, and then he was very happy to be in the association of Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami. And he gave many instructions. And then Lord Chaitanya, after completing his Vrajamandal Parikrama, he came to Jagannath Puri. Lord Chaitanya, after accepting sannyas, he came to Jagannath Puri, delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, did South Indian holy places visit for 2 years. The assistant who was accompanying Lord Chaitanya during his South Indian visit was Kala Krishna Das, and the assistant who was serving him at Jagannath Puri was Govinda, and the person whom Lord Chaitanya took for his Vrajamandal was Balabhadra Bhattacharya. So after completing this South Indian tour, he definitely gave an instruction to Ramananda Rai to resign his job and to come to Puri. And then after completing the South Indian tour, he went to Puri. And then he made up his mind to go to Vrindavan. At that time, he happened to go to Ramakeli, and then he made a tour via Jharkhand. So when Lord Chaitanya was passing through Jharkhand forest, Balabhadra Bhattacharya was his assistant. So he could practically see how these animals of Jharkhand, the lion, tiger, they were embracing each other, caressing each other by the influence of Lord Chaitanya. And when Lord Chaitanya was touring South India, Kala Krishnadas was able to see how Lord Chaitanya was preaching his 8 types of ecstatic transformation. And in spite of that, when Lord Chaitanya was in Kerala, this assistant who was continuously with the Lord Chaitanya saw how Lord Chaitanya delivered many people giving love for Krishna and the ecstatic transformation happening with Lord Chaitanya's body. He was allured by the Bhattataris. The seduction came through women. So the instruction is clear. Lord Chaitanya is saying clear. Even if a person is near to the spiritual master or the Supreme Lord, one has to be determined. Determination is very, very important in spiritual life. He saw how Lord Chaitanya was delivering the people, still he was attacked by Maya. And Lord Chaitanya, he used to continuously hear about the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj more than 100 times at Toto Gopinath Garden from the lotus mouth of Gaurahari Pandit. Why especially these pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad? Though their age was very little, they had a firm determination in rendering devotional service to Lord Hari. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya, after seeing this Jharikanda wonderful pastime, seeing elephant, deer, jackal, tiger, rabbit, all jumping and dancing in ecstasy by chanting the holy name of Krishna, he was also bewildered at Vrindavan, because the local people used to say, see, at the dead end of the night, we can see Lord Krishna dancing in the hood of a Kaliya. The local people used to say this. It spread like a rumor. It also happened to come to the ear of Balabhadra Bhattacharya, and he gave the same news to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is none other than Krishna. But Balabhadra Bhattacharya was saying to Lord Chaitanya, see, daily, every day, at the dead end of the night, Lord Chaitanya is dancing in the Kaliya hood, and we can see it. Then immediately Lord Chaitanya slapped him. Oh, fool, you are still remembering the local rumors? It is none other than the boatman. And sometimes boatmen used to catch fish, and then they used to have a lantern light. And seeing the boat, people started to imagine it as the hood of Kaliya. And the lantern light, they used to think that the jewel emanating light from the hood of Kaliya, and the boatman, they thought that Krishna is dancing. So here we can see the assistant of Lord Chaitanya during his South Indian tour, Kala Krishnadas, he was attacked by Maya. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya at Vrindavan, who was very near with Lord Chaitanya, he was also bewildered by mental speculation. So that's why Lord Chaitanya used to say us, the renunciation spirit is very, very important in our spiritual life. And determination is very, very important. Too much determination is detrimental, certainly, but at the same time, we have to be determined. Because too much determination in the sense that it should not make our heart dry. Because for Krishna to come and to attract Krishna in our heart, it has to be soft. So naturally, the heart should not be made dry. And that's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, when he came out of the headquarters, Sri Caitanya, Gaudiya Math at Mayapur, one of the Grahastha disciples, and many disciples came. There was a beggar, and none of them put money, thinking that if they use the money for sense gratification, that it comes under the laws of karma. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was highly worried. Grahastha means you have to be compassionate. Why you are making your heart dry? So we should not make our heart dry. It has to be always made spongy, because the spongy nature, sponge can absorb more water. The more it is soft, the more one can assimilate and meditate on the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And that certainly happens by the process of devotional service. So the firm determination, and apart from that, one should be in a humble state of mind. Sanatana Goswami was humility personified. After spending some years at Vrindavan, Sanatana Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, and then he had a lengthy journey. When he reached Jagannath Puri, his body was full of sores, where his body, the burnt was like that, blood was oozing from his body. So he felt naturally mental depression. So he actually wanted to commit suicide. He didn't want himself to be embraced by Lord Caitanya. But Lord Caitanya voluntarily came to embrace Sanatana Goswami, but Sanatana Goswami was moving away. Sanatana Goswami is an dear associate of Lord Caitanya. These personalities, Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, Sanatana Goswami is Lavanga Manjari, Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami is Raga Manjari, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami is Rati Manjari, Gopala Bhatta Goswami is Guna Manjari, Jiva Goswami is Vilasa Manjari. So all these personalities, they are all Manjaris in Krishna Leela. So we can understand the Acharyas, right from Srila Rupa Goswami to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they are all Manjaris. Who are all Manjaris? They are assistant to gopis. Radha and Krishna, they are the divine couple. And this divine couple, when they are in the grooves, sometimes the intimate gopis, they don't even enter inside. But these Manjaris, who are in the age group like between 5 to 7, they always have 24 access to go at any time to meet Radha and Krishna. And this divine couple, when they are in the flower garden, naturally some arrangement has to be given, whether it is betel nut or whether it is making a flower bed or other things to be given. So all these services are done by Manjaris. So definitely the gopis are very, very intimate to Radha Krishna. But these Manjaris always have 24/7 access to Radha Krishna. And these Manjaris never bypass gopis. They always depend on the instruction coming from the gopis. So we have to understand. And in Gaura Ganodesa Deepika, we can understand how devotees, they are Manjaris, gopis, and then the Dwadasa Gopalas, how much they are very much intimately related to Lord Krishna and the Lord Chaitanya. They are all the eternal associates. So we can see this Manjaris, Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, Sanatana Goswami, Lavanga Manjari, how much they are intimately related to Radha Krishna. In that way, we can feel pride. Actually, pride should not come to our own self. But when we think of our Acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, Panchatattva, and also the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, we should feel pride. We should feel pride of Krishna. But for us, we should always think ourselves to be very insignificant. Always. That is the mood. Humility personified. Sanatana Goswami. And it attracts the attention of Krishna. In Srirangam, Parasara Bhattar during Ramanujacharya's time he was giving a lecture. At that time, a stranger came and then he started to abuse Parasara Bhattar. Then the disciples of Parasara Bhattar, they were embarrassed, but at the same time, they were biting their lips since their guru was being abused. At the end of the class, Parasara Bhattar called his disciples and told his disciples to give some special gift to that person who was abusing him. And this made a shock, and it also made the devotees to wonder why Guru is acting like that. So at that time, Parasara Bhattar said that Krishna, Hari means great, and the Jivatma, we are very insignificant, and any katha happens, we should glorify Krishna and we should make ourselves insignificant. In this class, I was only glorifying Lord Hari. I didn't make myself insignificant, and that part was actually done by him. That's why I told you to give a special gift to him. So see how the devotees are having this special broadened vision, matured vision. Because whenever we see a devotee, we should have a vision how much they are dear to Krishna. The spiritual master, any spiritual master you see, whether it's a Diksha Guru or a Siksha Guru, the Caitanya Charitamrta, Caitanya Bhagavata, Caitanya Mangala, it says that this is the first thought which should come to you. This should be the first thought. Any spiritual master you see, how much is he dear to Lord Krishna and how much is he dear to Lord Chaitanya. That thought should come. If that thought comes, then naturally we express our gratitude to the spiritual master, and at the same time we feel ourselves insignificant, and insignificant in the sense that we hanker, beg, cry for mercy with that wonderful personality. So always the Guru is very, very dear to Radha Krishna. That's why I told how these Manjaris, they always have 24/7 access to Radha Krishna. Any person recommended by the Acharyas to Radha Krishna or to the other gopis, they are always welcomed and accepted. That's why Prabhupada says that, don't think I have come to America and just we had some meeting and I have accepted you as a disciple. No, it is eternal relationship. And I have come only to deliver you from this material world, to take you back home, back to Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada is fully empowered. So we should always cultivate this mood of attempt and desire to satisfy the spiritual master. That itself is sufficient. There was a famous devotee at Kanchipuram called Kanchipurna. He was in talking terms with Varadaraj. And then daily the people used to ask him, when is their liberation, moksha? He used to ask this question and then he would say the answer. Everyone know that he is in talking terms with Varadaraj, and he was a very famous personality. One day he happened to ask to Varadaraj, when is my liberation? Varadaraj told, not in this lifetime. Then he was puzzled. Why? He told, you are serving me directly, not to the pure devotees. Then immediately he was waving the chamara. He put the chamara down, and he was a famous personality. No one would accept his service. Then he went as a disguise in the form of a cowherdman, and in Tirukoshtiyur, he had a nice opportunity to serve the personality there, Tirukoshtiyur Nambigal, for 6 months. Then later it was revealed that he is none other than Kanchipurna. So the instruction is clear. We should always make our attempt to serve the spiritual master. If spiritual master is pleased, 100% it is guaranteed we will go to Krishna. There is no doubt on that. That's why the Acharya says that daily, daily before chanting the holy name, we used to make the prayer, Sikshastakam prayer, the 10 offenses against the holy name. At the same time, the associates of Lord Chaitanya, whomever we can remember, we have to beg for their mercy, especially Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur, because they are the person who are completely immersed in love for Krishna. Krishna conscious means complete absorption. These personalities who have come as Acharya, they know only Krishna Balaram, they know only Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and only those personalities could act as a spiritual master. So whatever mood they have, we can imbibe that mode by following in their footsteps, just by getting the mercy by our little attempt to please them. And if they are happy with us, just by the recommendation, Krishna accepts us. Sanatana Goswami is so much humility personified. Rupa Goswami is humility personified. And then he actually made an attempt to commit suicide. Lord Chaitanya forbade it. I know actually from Chaitanya Leela, 3 personality attempted for suicide, and the Lord Chaitanya
Please,
one is Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami made his attempt to commit suicide, and Lord Chaitanya clearly told that your body belongs to me, and I want to make wonderful pastimes through your body. So never even entertain this thought. And by the embrace of Lord Chaitanya, he made a miracle. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made many miracles, and one miracle is just by embracing the body of Sanatana Goswami, where he had blood oozing from his burn source, that was immediately rectified. And the Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya and Sarup Damodara Goswami, he didn't want to live. So he went to Govardhan, and he also wanted to commit suicide by climbing the mountain and falling from the top of the mountain. And there Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami forbade Raghunatha Dasa Goswami not to commit suicide. And Murari Gupta, he was a Rama Bhakta, and he also decided to commit suicide. And he bought a sharp iron weapon. He hid it in his house, and Lord Chaitanya, he immediately came to the house and took the sharp weapon and told that for what purpose this weapon is kept. It made Murari Gupta completely embarrassed. The same information Lord Chaitanya told to Murari Gupta. The disciple's body belonged to the spiritual master. The spiritual master can speak through the disciple. And the spiritual master, Supreme Lord, can act in many ways through the body of the disciples. So that was one of the instructions given by Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami when he came at this condition to meet Mahaprabhu after having a long travel. So definitely at that point, the instruction given is, he was actually externally, apparently, mentally depressed, Sanatana Goswami. So sometimes the worldly situation is like that, but still we have to tolerate it. Tolerance is very, very important in spiritual life. One disciple went to Srila Prabhupada and told, Prabhupada, this devotee is torturing me too much. Then Prabhupada told that, like how I am tolerating you, you also tolerate him. So tolerance is very, very important, and that was demonstrated by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And definitely, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, we can understand how tolerance is very, very important. If tolerance is not there, then it is very difficult to advance in the spiritual life. Why? The main reason is that we tolerate our family members because we think that they are somehow dear to us. Like that, all the living entities, Lord Chaitanya is saying, and also Lord Krishna is saying, all living entities are my eternal fragmental parts. And that's why no one should envy others. Any person envying any other living entity is tantamount having envy with the Supreme Lord. And this stage can be attained only if we can tolerate rather than having a vengeance mode. Just by tolerating, we can understand that we can draw the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt on that. And apart from that, the tolerance is very, very important. Along with tolerance, along with the humility, it makes a special combination flavor where we can please Lord Chaitanya by this wonderful Vaishnava etiquette way, which was taught to us by the Acharyas. So we can clearly understand how these devotees were dear to Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya came for what purpose? He wanted to taste the mellows of devotional service, and whatever taste he is tasting, he wants to distribute it through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So actually, if we see in detail, more than the bliss enjoyed by the Supreme Lord, the devotees enjoy more. And that's why Lord Krishna took the form of Lord Chaitanya. So this instance is clear that by rendering devotional service, the bliss enjoyed by the devotees is more than the Supreme Lord. If it is not more than the Supreme Lord, then why Krishna has to appear in the form of Lord Chaitanya, taking the mood of Srimati Radharani? So he wants to understand the transcendental mellow. And Krishna is very sweet, Maduram. Radha attracts Krishna, Srimati Radharani attracts Krishna, and Krishna attracts Srimati Radharani. The relationship is very sublime. And apart from that, Lord Chaitanya, in his mood of Vipralamba at Jagannath Puri, he was expressing these deep emotions. Why the place where Lord Chaitanya stayed in Puri is called as Gambira? Gambira means very, very deep. Why? The emotion, ecstasy is very, very deep. There are 10 types of separation mood expressed in 10 stages. Definitely, if it is in the spiritual world, it also gets as a perverted reflection in the material world. But in the material world, we know that whatever attraction we have for material objects and the person, it is called as lust technically. And when it is dovetailed towards Krishna, it is called as love. But anyhow, these 10 stages is exhibited both in the spiritual world and the material world. And the ecstasy and the stage tasted by a devotee, that Lord Chaitanya exhibited in his Gambira pastime. The first stage, a person, when he starts to love a person, that first stage is called as Chinta. Chinta means having anxiety and then being too much anxious to know about others and then thinking of them. That is the first stage. So that is called as Chinta. And the second stage of love, we can say it is Jagara. Jagara means thoughtfulness, wakefulness. If a person falls in love, then naturally he loses his sleep. That's why Srimati Radharani, when Akrura took away Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura, Radharani was lamenting to her dear friend, "See how unfortunate I am, Vishaka. Definitely, if a person is in love with other person, and if he sleep in the dream, that person comes. But I am ill-fortuned that I am not at all having a sleep. Then where is the chance of remembering Krishna?" So this is the second stage. And the third stage is called as Udvega. The mind gets agitated. The heart gets like a burning sensation. And this is also expressed by the gopis, and also Mahaprabhu used to say this phrase in Sikshashtaka. Every second without the association of Krishna is considered to be a yuga. And it is very painful. And that too for a person whom he loves, if he is separated, the heart gets agitated. So this is the third stage. And the fourth stage is Tamavaha. This Tamavaha means actually in the fourth stage, the body becomes dried, skinny. When Uddhava came to visit the gopis, he used to say that whatever the ring which they used to wear in the finger, they were used to wear it as a bangle. So they were completely dried up, they're becoming skinny, not caring for the body. So always thinking in that stage. And the fifth stage that is called as Malina Gata. What is Malina Gata means? Definitely they loses their color. Uddhava was able to see that how in the separation mode gopis were lamenting, and then actually the youthfulness, the bliss, which actually bliss is increasing, but externally they are losing their appetite and they don't eat, and the body becomes pale and they loses their effulgence. So these things happen in the fifth stage. And the sixth stage is called as Pralapa. Pralapa means when a person falls in love with other person, he becomes mad. And his speech is also inconsistent. And we can see Lord Caitanya, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Our Siddhanta is not that I have seen Krishna, I have seen Krishna. I have seen Krishna means it is called as Sambhoga, union. And where is Krishna? Searching for Krishna means Vipralamba. And we can see how Srimati Radharani is talking to the bumblebee, inquiring about Krishna. And the seventh stage is called as Vyadi. Vyadi means disease, high fever. Because they don't want to live. Actually, they get a distaste for living since they are separated from their lover. And it is very, very heart paining. So that is the seventh stage. And the eighth stage is Unmada. Unmada means madness, complete madness. Uddhava said the same message to Lord Krishna, saying that the gopis have become like a laughing stock because always they are crying, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Even after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Sachidevi used to ask, have you seen Nimai? Have you seen Nimai? Have you seen Nimai? This is Unmada, complete madness. And when Lord Chaitanya disappeared, all of his associates, they became completely mad. Many of them, they left the body, and others, they were in seclusion. This is the eighth stage, Unmada, where complete possessiveness comes. So this possessiveness is there, either in the spiritual world or in the material world. Actually, the tendency is to be possessive with Krishna. But if we are not feeling that mood, possessive of Krishna, then we can see in the perverted reflection in the material world how people are so much obsessed and having a possessive mentality with the properties which they come around. The ninth stage is called as Moha, fainting. And here we can see when due to the separation of Krishna in Nidhuvan forest, Radharani fainted, and Lalita wrote a letter to Krishna. She is almost in a murcha stage. Maybe before 20-30 years, when telegram comes, people get some panic. Some person is very serious like that. So like that, Lalita wrote a letter to Krishna. So she has become completely fainted, and anytime she may leave the body. And then the 10th stage is Mrityu, death. In spiritual world, the concept of death is there, but actually there is no death. In spiritual world, the concept of Asura is there, but Asura is not there. So Lalita wrote a letter to Krishna, if you don't come, then there are chances that you may not see Srimati Radharani anymore. But actually there is no death in the spiritual world, but the concept is there, idea is there. But sometimes in the material world, we find that people commit suicide. It may be a one-sided love, but it doesn't happen in the spiritual world. But the concept is there, but they don't die. And that's the glory of the spiritual world. The glory of the spiritual world is that whatever activities we are doing, all those activities are done in the platform of continuous bliss. So here we can find the 10 stages. These 10 stages, Lord Chaitanya was experiencing Vipralamba, Bhava. It's a very, very deep. Only if we go inside, we can see how deep is the ecstatic emotion for Krishna. It has to be experienced, realized. And Lord Chaitanya taught this process because in the 18 years which he stayed at Puri, the last 6 years he didn't come out. He was just staying within the four walls of Gambira and he was experiencing the highest bliss. What is Vipralamba Bhava? The mood of separation. Externally separated, but internally being union in heart. That is Vipralamba Bhava. So Lord Chaitanya taught this wonderful principle. Feeling the mood of separating from Krishna and always seeing Krishna in our heart. Krishna is always in everyone's heart. But for a person who is pure, he can realize that. So that is Vipralamba Bhava. So Vipralamba Bhava means external separation, but internal union in heart with Krishna. This is the highest principle which Lord Chaitanya taught to us. It becomes the person who is imbibed by this mode, he becomes complete mad towards Krishna. Lord Chaitanya demonstrated this pastime when he saw a washerman. Then he told washerman to chant Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Initially he hesitated, but by the influence of Lord Chaitanya, the washerman chanted Haribol, and then he was immersed with the love for Krishna, Krishna Prem. Then seeing her husband haunted by a ghost, then the wife brought all the villagers and seeing that person chanting Haribol, Hare Krishna, all the person, they were haunted by madness with Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya, when he was on the way to Puri after completing his Rajamandal, on the way, there was a buttermilk person. And Lord Chaitanya, he was very thirsty, so he asked for buttermilk. And that person gave buttermilk with a small pot. Lord Chaitanya, he immediately saw the big pot. He told that I want a complete big pot. Then understanding his mood, the buttermilk shopkeeper, he handed over the complete big pot to him. And then Lord Chaitanya, he used to drink all the buttermilk immediately. And this made a wonder to that person. Lord Chaitanya was very satisfied. Then he started to walk. Then the buttermilk person, he told, please give me money. And Lord Chaitanya told that my assistants are coming back, so you ask money from those persons. And at that time, the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they were coming back. And seeing those assistants, the buttermilk person asked those persons for money. And Mahaprabhu, after he took sannyas from Katwa and then reached Shantipur, when he was on the way to Jagannath Puri, many associates were accompanying him. At that time, he asked his associates, are you all carrying money? And all the person told that we are not even carrying a single penny of money. Lord Chaitanya was very satisfied with that behavior and the renunciation spirit. So after asking for money from the buttermilk person, they all started to see the other person's face. Then immediately the butter person understood they don't have money. Then he told, okay, take it as a gift. That's all. And then immediately the butter person, when he was supposed to take his buttermilk pot back to his home, he saw that the complete pot was filled with gems, precious ornaments. He couldn't even move further. So he was wonderstruck. And then he immediately ran towards Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu immediately hugged him. That's all. The moment he told, I am giving the buttermilk as gift, Then like in Krishna Lila, we used to understand, no? The flower vendor, fruit vendor, she gave fruits to Krishna, and later the basket was filled with ornaments. Like that, this buttermilk person, he was also endowed with wonderful, precious gems and ornament. And he was personally hugged by Lord Chaitanya. Then he was haunted by Krishna Prem. Then he somehow or other he took the part and then he went to his home. So we can clearly understand in spiritual life, in Krishna consciousness, in love for Krishna, all our material desires are included on that. No need to endeavor separately for that. And Lord Chaitanya is glorifying the mood of the gopis like anything. Whenever he used to stay in Puri, he used to hear the songs of Vidyapati, Chandidas, Jayadeva Goswami, and then Bilvamangal Thakur song, and also the poem written by Ramananda Rai. Because for experiencing these ecstatic emotions, Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Rai is Vishaka, and Swarup Damodar is Lalita Shaki. Sometimes the acharyas differ in their opinion, nothing to get contradicted, whether who is Lalita or who is Vishaka. So at that time, this Lalita Shaki and Vishaka Shaki, knowing the mood of Srimati Radharani, they were quoting some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, which intensified the ecstatic emotions of Lord Chaitanya. And that's why Lord Chaitanya was surrounded by these wonderful personalities. Because spiritual life means imbibing the mood. And specifically, Lord Chaitanya has come here to give this mood of the gopis through this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And this is an exalted, in Vraja Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, Madhurya Rasa is considered to be the highest, the conjugal love between the gopis and the Krishna. It's a Madhuram, always very, very sweet, and also mercy personified. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful, magnanimous incarnation. No other personality have given this. Because whatever the avatar come, they give moksha, they give any types of mukti. But love for Krishna, Krishna himself in his Leela pastimes at Dwaraka, when a person came and then asked the benediction of getting pure bhakti, he hesitated, because if Lord Krishna awards pure bhakti, then it indicates that he has to become a slave for that pure devotee, slave for the pure devotion. But Lord Chaitanya is completely mad. Whatever he is experiencing, he is willing to share. And no one in Kali Yuga cries that I want Krishna Prem, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not only teaching us how to cry, and he is crying, please take this wonderful love for Krishna. Because the avatars come for removing the burden of the earth. But this incarnation of Lord Chaitanya is so wonderful that Lord Chaitanya has descended to give this wonderful ecstatic emotion. This emotion cannot, it has to be experienced. It's so tasty. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tasted and gave it the same to us. So we have to understand, in order to attain this taste, first we have to appreciate. We have to be always gratitude to the Guru Parampara. And Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, the Acharya Parampara is here only to facilitate us to attain this pure love for Krishna. And if we are sincere, for that purpose only they have appeared. They are willing to help us in many ways, facilitate us in many ways. There is no restriction on that. In spiritual life, the difficult thing is only aspiration to attain pure love for Krishna. If that aspiration is strong, then always we will get that facility. But in the material mode, desire comes easily, but naturally there should be sufficient karma to fulfill that. So we have to understand these things, and we should naturally have so much tremendous faith on the instructions of the acharyas, pastimes, meditate on them, cry for mercy. Mahaprabhu taught us the school of crying, how to cry for Krishna. Right from the birth till death, in many stages of life, we cry for many things. But in this one lifetime, actually the concept is like this: the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, like they are taught like the material sense gratifiers. They think that this is the one and only lifetime and we have to gratify our senses. The brahmachari sannyasis, the persons who are in the renounced order, though in Kali Yuga, most of the associates of Lord Chaitanya were grahasthas, householders, we can understand that this one lifetime, if we dedicate to the mission of Lord Chaitanya and getting attached to the associates of Lord Chaitanya, it is 100% confirmed that we can attain love for Krishna very speedily. And this is the way, because we are crying for so many things in this material world. But if we cry for Krishna as taught by Lord Chaitanya, our life becomes very successful. And the most important, beautiful aspect is that the more we cry for Krishna, the more hankering we have for the loving relationship. And naturally, the material bondage also gets easy. And Mahaprabhu has descended to this world in order to teach this Vairagya Vidya as well as the love for Krishna. And naturally, we have to appreciate in the initial stages of ISKCON when we come, we feel bliss. Actually, it's a gift. And if we acknowledge and then cry to Krishna, this is the highest crest jewel of devotion, love for Krishna. They are ready to give it to us. But initially, we took it for granted. So naturally, familiarity breeds contempt. The taste may a little bit vanish away. But if we cry and if we get, then when we accept it by the mercy of Guru Gauranga, then we can easily realize that it is actually a gift. It is actually a gift only. The holy name, the devotion, the ecstatic symptom. So we have to be serious in our spiritual life. In this one lifetime, we should dedicate our life in the preaching mission of Lord Chaitanya, getting attached. In Kali Yuga, for getting residence in Vrindavan is to get the mercy of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and Panchatattva. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that. So the more we absorb in Gaura Leela, the more we advance. And I will end up with one interesting pastime. When Sachi Devi, during Mayapur pastime, she had a wonderful dream which she conveyed to Nimai. I had a wonderful dream. In our altar, there was wonderful Krishna Balaram. And you and Nitai, as a small child, you entered into the altar and there was a quarrel between you two. I mean, 2 teams, one Krishna Balaram in one team and Nimai Nitai, you two in another team. There was an argument and you were commanding to Krishna and Nityananda Prabhu was commanding to Balaram that it is our time. Your time of Dwapara Yuga has gone. Now this is the time for us to be seated in the throne. Please get down. And Krishna Balaram refused to get down. And you two, Nimai and Nitai, you used to quarrel with them in a loving, sweet way. But the time went in a climax where Nitai shouted, now this is Kali Yuga. It's time for my master to sit there. And then in the argument, you both went. And then you both were seated in the throne. And Nitai was asking, I am hungry. So what is this meaning? Then hearing this wonderful dame, Sachi Devi, Nimai smiled at Sachi Devi but didn't tell anything. So the instruction is clear. The same Krishna Balaram has come and descended as Gauranga, Nityananda Prabhu, Gaur Nitai, Nitai Gaur. So by worshipping them, praying to them, definitely we will get the mercy of residing in Vrindavan to render eternal service and eternal love, eternal competition between the devotees and Krishna, where in this competition no one loses or no one wins. So I end with this, Hare Krishna. So if you have any comments, realization, doubts, you are free to ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your very valuable time and association. We have heard a lot about your expertise in Gaura Leela. It was so nice. It was so free flowing. The entire story of Srila Sanatan Goswami, the glories of Lord Chaitanya, staying in different places, and pretty much everything that you covered was so interesting. And many new pastimes must be from Chaitanya Bhagavat and other places. It was so interesting to hear. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I don't have any doubts, but I really wanted to appreciate the very wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to
Krishna.
Shri Guru and Gauranga. Prabhu, I had one question. So you were talking about possessiveness in the spiritual world. That is this phrase, Krishna, you are mine. And we know that I'm yours, but you are mine. So I'd like to get some light on that, Prabhu, understanding how what possessiveness means in the spiritual world. Because again, my question is also connected in the sense that see, in the material world, we know about, you were talking about the material possessions that we are possessive of, but I'm just wondering, in the spiritual world, the possessiveness, I understand that they are so possessive about Krishna, but again, at the same time, they are willing to share Krishna with others. So that's where I had doubt, and I just wanted to make sure my understanding is right. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So whatever is experienced in this material world, in the original form, in the pure form, it is exhibited in the spiritual world. So this unmada, the madness for Krishna, the possessiveness is there in the spiritual world. And we can hear in Radha Krishna pastimes, there are left-wing gopis, right-wing gopis. There are two sets of gopis, one headed by Srimati Radharani, and the other gopis headed by Chandravali. Chandravali gopis, they have the mood. We belong to Krishna, I belong to Krishna. But the mood exhibited by Srimati Radharani and the other gopis is like that. Krishna belongs to us. So the possessiveness is there, but it is on the different category. So I belong to Krishna, the mood exhibited by Chandravali, and Krishna belongs to us, the mood exhibited by Srimati Radharani. So the possessiveness is there. At the same time, the answer is given in this. Srimati Radharani have transcendental jealousness towards Chandravali. Why transcendental jealousness? Because only when there is two parties serving Krishna, it makes pleasure for Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is thinking, if I have transcendental jealousness towards Chandravali, it makes Krishna happy. So the jealousness also is taking place only because it is giving pleasure to Krishna. And apart from that, in spiritual world, Prabhupada says, and all our Acharya says that they are always willing to serve. Like as I told earlier, this divine couple, Srimati Radharani Krishna, when they are together, whenever the gopis or the manjaris come for service, Srimati Radharani gives them a chance for them to do nice, wonderful service to Krishna. And whenever they get an opportunity to serve Krishna, they feel more blissful. And that too, when recommended from other devotees. So in the spiritual world, the mood is like that. When a person does nice service, everyone appreciates. At the same time, they also want to do some service in such a way that it attracts the focus of Krishna. There is nothing harm in it. But they don't develop this mood of jealousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, it was really wonderful. I have a doubt. We are telling about we should not develop jealousness. But why does Radha Rani develop a transcendental with it? Why should she perform this Leela, Prabhuji?
Okay. So the mood in the spiritual world is that we have to make Krishna happy. Because even, see, like for example, we have book distribution. Prabhupada says that, see, book distribution means actually we have to, because this is a missionary activity, so everyone has to put his own effort. And Prabhupada says that you should make a healthy competition. Like actually in a family members or who are so intimately related, they make a healthy competition. Because if there is no if there is no competition, there is no interesting sweet nectar part. So naturally, there should be a competition. And Prabhupada says that you make some team and you make a team, you make a healthy competition in distributing books. But the competition mood should be in such a way that we have to outnumber others. But at the end of the day, we should come and then congratulate and then appreciate each other. So that is the mode. So in the spiritual world, so it is all in a transcendental platform. So in the transcendental platform, so whatever Srimati Radharani does, it's for the pleasure of Krishna. That is well understood. So for the pleasure of Krishna, externally, these are all apparent, because there is called as direct and indirect. Because if you want to glorify a person, if you directly glorify a person, like Lord Caitanya, when he wants to glorify a person, he indirectly glorifies in such a way that the person who is hearing that he feels more bliss. So like that, some externally some situation may arise, but internally it not only gives this, but ultimately whatever they do in the spiritual world, whether it is the cowherd boys or the cowherd girls, they just see only whether Krishna is satisfied. They are so much exalted, and they definitely with whatever conception we have with the bodily concept of life, it is nothing like that to do with the spiritual world. It is completely spiritual and unimaginable. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class. It sparked so many questions for me. Well, one of them is this concept of empowered instructions. When a spiritual master gives an instruction, embedded within that instruction is the power to execute it. And so, as you said, we should make those instructions as our life and soul, or at least meditate upon it. So my question is, if we find ourselves unable to carry out the message, how should we interpret that? Like in Srila Prabhupada's case, he is an example for us. It took him 44 years. So if it took us, decades to finally come to execute the order of our spiritual master, in the meantime, we would probably not feel like we were having the power to do so. So how to really interpret our seeming inability to carry out the order?
So nice question. So along with instruction comes empowerment. So how to interpret that? So we have to understand, when a spiritual master, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, so like Prabhupada, when he was in New York, Tompkins Square, even before starting of the moment when the reporter asked, can you tell me something about yourself? He told that already we have hundreds of branches in all parts of the world, even before the ISKCON movement was started in America. So he was a visionary. So like that, the spiritual master is not ordinary person, because they know the past, present and future. So definitely certain thing we cannot assimilate at that point of time. But at the same time, the attitude, the success in spiritual life depends on the attitude of the follower. Oh, my spiritual master has told. So even we have to meditate that since it has come from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master, I have to execute it. I understand that one Mataji, she was just walking, and the Guru Maharaj asked, when are you going to start a Bhakti Viksha? At the time, she don't know what is even the concept of Bhakti Viksha. But later, after 5-7 years, she is heading Bhakti Viksha, thousands of devotees, like 20, 30, 40 Bhakti Vikshas. So the mood and the attitude should be like that. Since it has come from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master, I have to execute it. But sometimes the situation may be complicated, which we can't even imagine. But Prabhupada says that we should meditate. I have to implement it. Maybe at least we should make an attempt to implement the desire of my spiritual master. The spiritual master gets pleased. And Prabhupada says that the attempt what we make is more important than what we achieve. So that should be the attitude. And we can see from the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, he made an attempt, what the instruction he got from the spiritual master. And Prabhupada says that it is very tangible, we can see that. So it's definitely based on firm faith, but sometimes definitely the situation, it will be difficult for us to comprehend on that. But we should meditate that I have to execute it. Just by that attempt, Krishna, spiritual master, gets pleased. So the attitude is very, very important.
Okay. So yes, I understand that the most important thing is the desire and the attempt to fulfill that order. But I'm still trying to reconcile, when you say, I mean, not just you, I've heard this before, that, with the instruction comes the power to actually execute it. That sounds like, the outcome, not just the endeavor, but the outcome should also manifest also, right?
100%. So, yeah. So we can see
Excuse me? Say that again?
Okay, so I can say along with instruction comes empowerment. So you are telling that it has to get manifested, absolutely. But initially, sometimes if you are in because the general instruction, we have to implement it at any cost, like the chanting, minimum 16 rounds. These are general instruction, following the 4 regulative principles, and then preaching. These are all general instruction. But spiritual master, we should not approach a spiritual master with the mood, oh, Guru Maharaj, give me the instruction. And if we approach the spiritual master in this mood, give me an instruction, personal instruction. First of all, the spiritual master, if he gives the instruction and if we don't follow, it becomes an offense. So that's why generally the instructions are generally given in a general way, generic way. And the personal instruction, because the spiritual master can understand the person's mood as well as the swabhav. So they can give, even for the same problem, they can give different instruction. It may differ. And we have to understand that. I can say, like, for example, the Chennai deities, the wonderful, beautiful Radha Krishna deity, it was Bhanusami Maharaj, he gave instruction to the sculptor at Jaipur. The eye should be like this, the nose should be like this, the cheek should be like that, the chest should be like that, and the bended form should be like that. So along with the instruction, the sculptor was able to make deity what he had in his mind. And seeing the wonderful, beautiful deity of Radha Krishna Chennai temple, many person approached the same sculptor and asked, you have to make a similar deity, but it didn't come in the same shape. So here the spiritual master, when he gives instruction to the sculptor, it should be like this, like this, like this. Then naturally he is empowered and we can see the outcome, how beautiful is the deity. So in that way we have to understand. Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm. And you said in the example that you gave of the devotee who was given instruction to do Bhakti Vriksha programs, in the beginning she didn't even know what Bhakti Vriksha was, and then I missed something you said. You said in the end she was able to do, like, what was she able to accomplish? I missed that.
Yeah, because when the spiritual master first met that Mataji was not in even in the preaching platform, but immediately during the first sight, the spiritual master asked her, when are you going to do Bhakti Vriksha? So she was puzzled. Yeah. Bhakti Vriksha, what? Preaching like that. Then afterwards, she's settled in a Western country where she is cultivating more than thousands of devotees under her umbrella of Bhakti Vriksha. So the spiritual master could envision what is going to happen through this devotee. So we have to understand that spiritual master is not ordinary person.
Okay, and then you also, thank you for repeating that. You also made distinction between like these specific instructions and the general ones, like chanting 16 rounds, 4 regs, you know, but couldn't a person have just as much difficulty with those general instructions as with the specific ones? You know, in other words, does making endeavor for the general instructions does that also please Krishna, or is he not satisfied until and unless you're successful in doing and completing those instructions, those general instructions?
So the general instruction, if he is an initiated devotee, the spiritual master clearly says that it has to be executed at any cost, because during initiation, he promises before the deity, before the spiritual master, before the Agni, and before Srila Prabhupada, and before the assembled Vaishnavas, I will regularly chant minimum 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, and help in the preaching mission. So it has to be executed at any cost. So there is no compromise on that. But sometimes people get some problem and they approach a spiritual master for a specific problem. And then the spiritual master says that you can try this way. So in that way, we have to follow the instructions. Sometimes there may be some difficulty, but anyhow, since it is said by the spiritual master, we should have firm faith and we have to try it in that way. And definitely, if there is something which is impeding us, definitely we can approach the spiritual master. There is no any hard fast rule on that. So the generic instruction has to be executed anyhow at any cost for an initiated devotee. So the general instruction is common for all. That's why generally, apart from general instruction, the specific instruction are given to those who can execute those tasks and who are trustworthy. And we can find it in the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada when we read Prabhupada Leelamrita. Hare Krishna.
And those who are not initiated, you know, still they have spiritual master. Their spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada. So what should their attitude be?
So we have to, because the general instruction is given by the spiritual master as a primary Siksha Guru for all the ISKCON devotees. Prabhupada says that the first and foremost duty for all devotees is to chant minimum 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, because in this movement, devotee means they have to follow these principles strictly. He doesn't expect anything more than that. Prabhupada says that even if you don't preach, but you chant 16 rounds and then follow the 4 regulative principles, the spiritual master is pleased. One disciple went to Srila Prabhupada and complained, Prabhupada, this devotee is only chanting and taking prasadam. He is not doing any service. Prabhupada told that he has rightly understood the essence of my movement. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. I do have 2 more questions, but I know I've been here a long time, so I don't know if somebody else has a question also.
Maybe the moderator has to decide. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. How nicely you narrating the pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that buttermilk drink and that see, I forgot the South Indian Brahman that he said that next birth you will deliver the story of I forgot Prabhu and all the Leelas Prabhuji, Koti Koti, Vardharaj story and all the Leelas you explained so nicely. Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else has any questions? Okay. Prabhu, how are you on the time, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock for us, 10 p.m.
So then should we send we'll probably ask Mataji to send it as a text to you and you can
Yeah,
just your convenience.
that should be fine. That should be fine.
Okay, okay. Gaurangi Mataji, we'll take the questions, Mataji, if you can send us, and we'll pass it over to Prabhuji. That's okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
all.
Mataji. And thank you, Prabhu, for your answers so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your valuable time and association.
Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa
कृपा
sindhu
सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय,
जय
प्रेस जीवन गौरहरि प्रभु जी की जय। थैंक
जय।
यू।
Guru
Prabhuji.
Gauranga Jayataha. Guru Gauranga Jayataha. Bhakti Sangha Jaba Group ki jai.
जय।
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Krishna.
Oh, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I just